There is a location in Australia where experienced hunters, campers and bushwalkers just mysteriously disappear without any evidence of where they could have gone in suspicious numbers. Hello and welcome back or welcome to my channel. If you don't know what's going on here, I'm a horror artist and I like to draw what I talk about in these videos. The information that I have gathered today is from the deep, dark parts of the internet and it's what I have found, so don't shoot the messenger. And if you are a sensitive person, I probably recommend not watching my channel at all. With that being said, let's get on with the video. This video today is about a man called Buttons, or the Button Man, that may be responsible for the disappearances of people. The location in question is Wonnangatta Valley in Victoria, Australia. In recent years, between 2019 and 2020, people such as highly experienced hikers, fishermen, deer hunters, skiers and campers have gone into this Victorian high country and have never been seen again. Search parties can be in there for weeks and not find a single thing in the 60-kilometre radius, which has left police and locals completely baffled. Some people believe that there are dark forces that lurk, maybe paranormal, maybe serial killer or serial killers. This place is apparently a dumping ground for bodies as well. Or maybe the Button Man is to blame. Because of its sinister history, it has become a hotspot for horror enthusiasts to go there, sit around a fire and scare the living shit out of each other. So the Wonnangatta Valley is situated between popular ski resorts Mount Buller and Mount Hotham. It's four-wheel drive country by summer, but in winter, snow falls and it's closed off to people. It's vast, remote, and can take days to get in and out of the valley, only via four-wheel drive. So, who is the Button Man that walks this valley? He is apparently a man who is an expert bushman who got his Button Man nickname from making buttons out of deer antlers and creating bone earplugs for his ear piercings. He apparently is around 70 years old, but he has the manoeuvrability of a man half his age. He hunts through the valley using old Aboriginal tools and is dressed in a black jacket with short grey hair and camps at a spot called the Crossroads where there is a good radio reception. Roughly 8 experienced bushmen have encountered the Button Man, saying that he will creep up on you at your campfire at night like a ghost and questions the visitors on why they are in his area. The people who encounter him say he's creepy, spooky, and makes the hairs on the back of their necks stand on end. The Button Man apparently builds rock pyramids in random spots, and some bushies have cut firewood only to have it disappear before they use it, like someone has been watching them and waiting. The Button Man apparently likes his own company and doesn't like coming across people in his area. He can be spotted in a nearby town of Mansfield in his four-wheel drive getting supplies, and he is pretty resourceful as well. He also will only make himself known when he wants to be seen. He has been questioned by police on a lot of disappearances with no leads. Now let's get into a case of the strange disappearance of Russell Hill and Carol Clay. On the 20th of March 2020, Russell 74 and Carol 73 disappeared from their campsite at the Dry River Track, Wonnangatta. They have been long-term friends for 20 years. Russell apparently built the tracks while working for a contractor decades before. Russell went around to pick up Carol from her place on the 19th and went on their merry way to the Wonnangatta Valley to have a getaway. The problem was that Russell was married and his family and friends believed that he was getting away on his own, as he apparently liked to do so a lot. But when Russell and Carol disappeared, they all realised he was lying. Russell and his friends were a part of a radio club which they talked to each other at 6 p.m. on designated days. Russell didn't tune in on the 21st, but his friends weren't alarmed. But when he didn't tune in on the 23rd, they started to get concerned. His friend Robbie reported him missing to the police. The couple's campsite was discovered on the 27th of March, with the site burnt out, and Russell's Toyota Land Cruiser had been partly burnt but still drivable, and Russell's drone was missing as well. Their phone accounts, bank accounts and credit cards were not accessed, and their bodies were never found. Between Russell and Carol's family and friends, none say there was evidence that they wanted to disappear together. Their campsite showed that they did not have any intentions on running away, plus they both were close with their families and were happy with their own individual lives. Apparently, weeks before Russell and Carol disappeared, Russell and his friend Robbie encountered the button man while Russell was flying his drone. He was not happy that the men were in his territory. There has apparently been 3 separate sightings of Carol and Russell 2 hours from the area where they disappeared, but they have been unconfirmed. But Robbie stated that there would be no way Russell would leave his 4x4 behind like that. Another quick story was from a wildlife photographer who went camping near the button man's location. He had been taking photos of the wildlife, but when he got home and dumped all his photos off his camera onto his computer, he found something disturbing. There was one photo on his reel of him sleeping in his tent. He had no idea who took it because he was supposedly alone. The disappearance of Niels Becker. On the 24th of October 2019, an experienced 39-year-old hiker named Niels Becker disappeared on a 5-day hike. He left from Upper Jameson Hut and then apparently made contact 2 days later to his family, saying he was heading to his car at Mount Sterling. He was witnessed by the button man, who was interviewed by police. He said he did see a well-equipped hiker that walked past his camp. Becker was never seen again. The disappearance of Conrad Whitlock. Conrad Whitlock was a 72-year-old who drove to the high country in July 2019 and left his white BMW with his keys, phone and jacket on the side of the road. He never made it to work. His wife said he came to bed that night around 11:30 p.m, but when she woke up the next morning at about 5:30 a.m, he was gone. The police said his car was in working order and no one knows why he would have left his vehicle on the side of the road. He too was never found. He could have been meeting someone there quickly, but it turned out to be fatal and they ordered him into their car. Apparently Conrad went missing the day he was scheduled for an MRI as he'd been suffering from headaches. Maybe he had something wrong and stumbled somewhere, maybe hallucinated and could be in a place or a hole in the earth that no one can find. The disappearance of David Prideaux. David Prideaux was a 50-year-old former Barwon prison governor and loved hunting. On the 5th of June 2011, he went deer hunting with his brother-in-law in the Alpine National Park. His belongings and himself were never seen again, even after months of combing the area. Some theories suggest that he had a hit out on him after the murder of a drug dealer called Carl Williams, who may have had a hitman follow him out to the bush. Another theory was that he was in possession of sensitive police data such as corruption when he went missing. He was apparently been sighted in Broome, WA, and some suspect he faked his own death to stay safe. None of his bank accounts had been touched and his phone failed to track his whereabouts. The disappearance of Warren Meyer. 57-year-old Warren Meyer was another experienced bushman who decided to take an easy hike on the 23rd of March 2008 at Dom Dom Saddle, Fernshaw. He had his food, water, phone and GPS. He set off around 7:45 a.m. for a 4-hour hike and then he was going to meet his wife and friends for lunch. He never made it to lunch and his car was found parked at Dom Dom Saddle that afternoon. He had no reason to disappear as he had a successful civil engineering consultancy business and was looking forward to retiring, but there was apparently gunshots heard the morning that Warren would have been hiking there, and a large marijuana plantation was found while police searchers were looking for him. Also, a mentally unstable patient that had escaped from a psychiatric facility was found near where Warren would have been. No evidence was found, though, that this person may have harmed Warren. Warren was never seen again. With these missing people, it's hard not to jump to conclusions and blame it on the button man. But what if there is something more sinister going on there, or even supernatural in nature? Who knows? There could even be a portal that opens up there, or a dimensional shift. Maybe these people are not dead, they have just shifted into another reality. Or another theory is that there is someone or someones out there that comb the area and prey on people. Maybe they have been abducted by UFOs or even Bigfoot. Apparently there is an old dilapidated homestead built by settlers roughly 100 years ago on a cattle-type farm with a lot of mystery surrounding it. And also an unsolved murder was found there back in 1917. But the most startling thing of all is that there is never any trace of the victims that go missing. Nothing. At all. And this button man will just walk around at night, no torch, no nothing, when encountered by campers. Is he trying to keep an eye on the campers and save them, or warn them from the real killers? Maybe the button man himself is an entity, a paranormal one. It's definitely a little strange, but people drive out there to try and find the button man, take photos of him, etc. But maybe the button man himself is not entirely human. Or do you think the button man is responsible for the disappearances and is doing some sort of sacrificing ritual to a higher power? So what do you think about the disappearances? Do you know of these disappearances, or do you have first-hand experience of the button man? Do you know someone who has been in the high country and has met the button man? Let me know in the comments below. If you have heard any other stories that I haven't mentioned today, or any other details about the stories that I have mentioned today. I would love to hear them, and yeah, put them in the comments down below. If I had to rein in on this story, sometimes I think that this particular button man and the cases of everyone going missing is just a complete coincidence. I think that it's probably a very creepy area, and maybe even the button man is maybe an apparition or a ghost that looks quite real, but it doesn't explain why people have actually so-called seen him going to the nearby town. I don't really know. This one I probably want some more evidence on, but I do think that these people have probably been abducted, or have time shifted, or been sucked into some sort of other reality. That's just my opinion, because I do believe in time slips, and I do believe that a lot of missing people out there are probably have probably never been killed by people, but have been sucked into a different reality, different dimension. I honestly do believe that, as much as it sounds batshit crazy. So the illustration that I decided to do for this video today was just a vision they had of the, the button man. This is like I'm not, because there's really no description on him other than what I gave to you in the video, but I just sort of had this vision of this half human, half like, I don't know what you would call him, like, he's got hooves and shit like that. But just of this old man who's like in this sort of like MMA sort of pose, ready to kick. But yeah, he's got these ropes with hooks on them, full of heads of like demons that he's captured and he's killed, and he's just got these heads for trophies. I'm not saying that this is what the button man's really doing, but this is just like a vision of what I got from this story, and I just sort of ran with it, and it's probably kind of like an inspiration of just of the events, and my mind running wild with thoughts on what could have happened to these people. And I just came up with this this hybrid thing, killing demonic things and running around with these trophy heads. And is a very sort of highly sophisticated bush creature that can get around and survive. And that's basically it. But anyway, that is it from me. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you stick around and watch whatever's left of this video to see how the illustration turned out. And if you like this kind of content, like and subscribe. Dislike it, I couldn't care less. It all goes towards my algorithm. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.